Beveridge is looking really good now. The fire did take a bit of a turn on Sunday evening, skirted around the back of Wallen. I'll talk about what's happened in the last 24 hours. Then up through Kilmore. It was a critical issue for us when it got over the Kilmore-Lancefield Road. We're very concerned, particularly about some of the country and the terrain, the granite country north of there up towards the Northern Highway. What I just wanted to say was some of the fire behaviour and fire activity we've been getting has been causing us the problems. It caused us the problems on Sunday, and again it caused us the problems yesterday. You've got this gully system that runs basically north-south through the fire, and in there's a lot of unburnt fuel, so there's fire activity that's in there, but it's very difficult to predict where that fire activity is going to come out. Run up the gullies. For those people who know a bit about fire behaviour, it runs a lot faster uphill, so you get a lot of activity where fire comes uphill. It'll throw sparks, it'll throw embers, and it's putting pressure on this area to the west of Kilmore, to the southwest of Kilmore, and also leading up to the Northern Highway. That's in the Union Lane sort of area, between Union Lane and Arknells Lane. Just a couple of features I want to talk about. We've had some pressure in the old Sydney Road area, so that's just west of Wallen. We had a fire there last year. Obviously it's a much bigger fire this year. The benefit there is the fire runs downhill towards Wallen, so that's a benefit for us. We've had fire push up the Northern Highway in the Wallen Heights area, north of Wallen. The Pretty Sally Tower, which is important for phones and those sort of things, is still there and being protected well. Just to move up, we did have a spot over yesterday, over the Northern Highway. That was late afternoon. We were really concerned about that because if we lose it over the Northern Highway, it opens up a whole heap of more area to be burnt. That's really critical for us to hold it, so we're going to do everything we can to hold it on the Northern Highway. We've got a very big fleet of aircraft out there again today, and any breakaway we're going to throw everything at it, and we're a lot more confident about holding those breakaways today. I'll talk about the weather shortly. That certainly could be more assistance today. The other area that we've had continual concerns with is really the area to the southwest of Kilmore. That's in the old Mill Road area, south of Kilmore, and really just the bigger subdivisions through there. Plains Road area, that runs north-south, and we've managed to guide the fire sort of around the west of the town. The other issue there is that we've got some, which is looking a lot better for us, we've actually tracked the edge there, which means that we've got a bare earth line, which means there's no fuel in terms of that bit of edge getting moving. The danger though is, as I said, there's still some unburnt fuel that's in the gully below, and if that fires up in the heat of the day, we can get spots and embers, and that's why we're really cautious about saying that this is all clear. It's certainly not all clear at the moment. We've still got a number of, and you will have seen some of the warning messages that we've got out. Now, continuing to the north of the fire, we've had some activity. We had some activity yesterday around the northern part of the fire near High Camp. Now, our strategy, in a bigger picture sense, is to obviously minimise any further damage from inside that burnt area. And as I said, there is some unburnt fuel there, and that can fire up at different times. So that's another reason to be vigilant. But our overall strategy is to hold the fire west of the Northern Highway. That's really important for us. We're pretty confident we can do that. And we need to hold it south of the High Camp Road. Now, the High Camp Road is some distance from the fire edge, but because of the countryside in there, if we did get a run, it would be the first logical place to stop it. Now, I just want to move on to the weather. Now, the weather has really dominated, and the fuel has dominated this fire. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who know how the wind blows from the south in Kilmore. You get a geographical effect through the Kilmore Gap, so whenever there's a southerly wind, you get a lot of acceleration of the wind. And we saw that acceleration all through the night on Sunday. That's what causes the problems, that's what caused that rapid fire spread. That southerly wind didn't let up Sunday night. It didn't let up all day yesterday, and in fact it blew until about midnight last night. The good news is that the southerly wind is still there today, but it's less, and it is actually forecast to moderate. So we won't see mid-afternoon the same degree of wind strength, although we'll still see wind from the south, which means that the potential is still there. Going forward into the next few days, again, the temperature heats up, but the wind speed drops, which is good for us. So the temperature heating up is one thing, lower humidities, that's a concern for us. The wind is probably behaving itself a little bit more, which gives us a degree of confidence. Having said that, the fire is still not contained. So it's important to understand, whilst we're getting some confidence, the fire is still unpredictable, and what we can't do with that much fire, 200 kilometres of fire edge, predict where the next breakaway might occur. We've got all the gear out there that we can muster. We've got aircraft on the fire, so it's just about responding to those breakaways as they occur. Alex, are you in a position to talk about the current warnings?
Yeah, okay.
Alex Cockey is one of our community officers, and I'll just throw the mic over.
Okay, thank you. We've simplified our warnings, and you should be picking them up from the websites. So certainly take the time to log on and have a look there at exactly what's happening. But first things first, really important, I'd like to congratulate you for all being here and alive, right? Our job is to preserve life and property, but we can't do that individually for you. So obviously the information that we've been providing to you over the years about being safe, you've taken heed to the mere fact that you're here now. So big pat on the back for all of you for what you've done so far. The warnings are telling us that there are still some areas that are dangerous, and indeed there are some areas that we still don't have a tag on. Yesterday afternoon we actually had to pull our ground people out of areas now because it was too dangerous for them. So there's areas that, and I'll give you an example, if you're going to ask me how many houses we've lost, I can't give you an accurate number there because there's areas we haven't been looked at yet. Can I answer you specific information on specific houses? I'm not even going to try and do that. Certainly speak to our DHS people as and when, if you think that's the case, they'll certainly be in a position to give you information about that. But really back to basics, you're here, you're safe just now. The process from here will be, take a big deep breath. When you're ready to start thinking about going home, be careful about it. If there are roadblocks or traffic control points for the police, don't sneak around them. They're there for a reason, and it's not to generate overtime for the police. It's there because we consider the areas dangerous. Anyone here remember the Glenarua fire? No? Okay, well I'll tell you a big issue about the Glenarua fire, where we only lost one house, was we spent about 2 days with trees falling across the road. So it wasn't a question about whether the houses were safe, the question was whether people would be safe getting back in there. Traffic control points, the police roadblocks, if you want to call them that, are designed to keep you safe. Don't sneak around it in there. The process that we will have is that for those areas that we have got the traffic control points, once we think it's relatively safe in there, and we've got arborists already working there, the Shire's already done this sort of work, Deputy's already doing this sort of work as soon as we can. Once we think it's safe and you want to go back in there, we'll put a process in place where people that can demonstrate a claim in that area, that is that you actually live there, not a sticky beak, will be escorted into the area. If we're satisfied that you can get in and out safely, nothing to do with whether your house exists or not, whether you can get in and out safely, the police will issue you with wristbands. And that will be your passport to get past the police control points. So there's a process in place. We do not want sticky beaks in there. We do not want people that are in there that are going to be looting or anything like that. So we're going to try and do the best we can to keep people out. Your assistance is really important. Getting information, if you're not sure about roadblocks, etc., where they are, the Vic Roads website is very, very good, and that's the stuff. Take the time to do it. Certainly the Deputy and CFA websites will have updated information